Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we are taking a look at finally from Transformers Legacy. This is Dead End. This is the third member of the Stunticons to be released. I meant to actually review this figure a while ago, but unfortunately my original copy got lost in the mail. So Amazon had to send me out another one that unfortunately took a little bit longer to get here. So I know a lot of other reviewers have probably covered this figure, but here's mine. And I have to say, and this is no hyperbole, this right here is the best Stunticon released, because from having drag strip and Wild Rider in hand and seeing that breakdown is going to just be a very slight retool with a new head and repaint of Wild Rider, Dead End is the best. The transformation is fantastic. It's far more involved. In fact, I would have liked to have seen maybe this type of effort go into the other Stunticons. I think it was, as the earlier a figure is designed and released, the less time they're able to refine it, and then when you get to the later figures, they're a bit more refined. Um, Starting off in robot mode, because yes, I'm going to take you through the whole transformation, because I have heard some complaints about it, and I found a few things that can actually help. We look and we can see that for the original promotional pics didn't do this figure any justice. They made the feet look a lot worse and odd than they actually are. You have a very clean backpack that actually pegs together quite nicely, and it really is wears the car parts very well for a Porsche. I think 918, 911. Um, Double blasters are included. They, besides being the robot mode blasters, they are meant to homage the toy's classic um, vehicle weapons. So yeah, other than that, I think we'll pause right now and we'll get into the transformation. Okay, so I've gone ahead and brought Dead End to a neutral pose. That means removing the weapons, uh, straightening the joints out so it's basically completely straight. This is how all transformations start, usually, and that's how we're going to start. So the first step here is you want to come into the forearms and rotate these panels down. There are natural stops going both way, so you don't have to worry about overturning or anything like that. Next, you want to come to the shoulder and just bring the wheels down until it pegs into place. Now, what you want to do is now come behind the figure and not the hood of the car, but you want to reach into that second panel and pull it back that it tabs into place. Next, you want to pull the arms from the shoulder so these panels come down. And this is really we're getting into like the cool part of the transformation. Next, flip the head back on the panel. That's one little complaint is the head is only really just pegged on. So there's that. So once you do that, you can then bring these panels up on their hinges and peg them together, just like so. Make sure it's centered. Next, bring the arms down, and you want to push them in so they tuck in behind the torso, and so that the fists are basically hidden, and these ports right here go over part of the waist. You can then close up that back panel, make sure it closes up all the way, and then unpeg the hood of the car from the back, and then just bring everything down, and you basically have the front of the car done. Now we're going to get into the part where I see a lot of people having problems, and that's the legs and the feet. Um, Let me bring it in right here. You can notice right there, right where my tip of my thumb is that there are little tabs on the heels, and you'll notice that there are these openings here in the back of the leg. Now, if you normally just could flip the foot up, that's it, and it looks clean. Well, you really need to actually push these in until they snap into place. That'll secure the foot. Do that on both sides, and that will help when you're bringing the legs together and the rear section so it doesn't look like it's splitting. Next, what you want to do is open up these leg panels, which actually peg in very tightly to the knee section, and you do actually sometimes run the risk of yanking them off, but you can, of course, just pop them back on. They're just friction pinned right there. Next, what you want to do is, and in doing so, if you loosen up the foot panels, make sure you put them back. Now what you want to do is bring the legs together. And this is where I want to point out that on what was the right leg in robot mode, on the foot, which is now the fin of the car, it's actually a hook, not a tab, not a port. So you really actually, when you bring these together, you want to slide them in and make sure that that fin hooks in properly. And that's actually what will hold the car together. Now, there is one little issue about it, and we'll get to that in a moment. But go ahead and then collapse the legs down, just like so. And then what you'll do then is peg it into place in the back. And you might notice doing that the rear comes unhooked. So go ahead, close up these panels, and then just massage the two parts together so they're hooked in. And there you have the vehicle mode. Now, you have that clean rear section. This side looks fairly good. This side, you'll notice there's a little bit more of a gappage with the panel. That's because this is the right side where the hook is. It's actually doing a lot more of the work, and there's really no way to even it out. I've tried. It might be there's a slight warpage or something, but I think it's better looking this way than having this whole section in the rear opened up, the top here not even. And really, if I didn't point it out to you, would you have really noticed the gapping right there? I mean, on camera, it looks a little bit worse than it actually is. But you can, of course, add the weapons here. These are very interesting, that these weapons, besides the posts where the figure holds them, they have two more posts on either side and a post in the rear. It's going to be interesting to see, once we have all the weapons together, along with Menosaur's cannon, if there's some way to actually combine the weapons that hasn't been revealed to us yet. Like a little surprise Easter egg. But they peg in there, and as you can see, you do have a little homage to the vehicle weapon of the G1 toy, and the car rolls very well. Of course, I should also mention this is how the vehicle will attach and the figure will attach to Menosaur. Basically, you'll plop onto the left arm. That right there is the little spring release that the peg will go into. You have the 4 posts right there, and then it'll separate the vehicle. So I don't think there's I'm not going to use a spudger to show you how it comes apart. It just comes apart. Although I do want to mention, this does hold together in robot and vehicle mode. You don't get that waggle that my drag strip did. Now, to go back to robot mode, what I find is that you just try to pop open the back section here. This will help loosen up the panels underneath here to free them up, because they, like I said, they do peg in very tightly. And then once you have them open, you can go ahead and telescope out the legs, detach them, from the legs and from that fin section. Close the panel up that it sits in properly. You want it. See how I can show you this? Oh, there we go. It just pegs in like that. Come around and bring the heel section down, and there you go. You got the legs already done. To continue on, let's pull back the hood here. This will form part of the backpack. And again, there are tabs right there that will go into slots in the roof of the car. That was a nice little touch, and that helps secure it and give you a very clean backpack. Go ahead and pull back on that section just to loosen everything up. pull the arms out to the side, bring these panels down and around, bring them down just like so. Come in, flip up the panel here with the head. That is a little bit on the tight side. And then go ahead and fold up these gray sections and collapse them and peg them into place, forming the robot mode chest. Once that is done, you can close up the back panel. It will peg into the 2 tabs on the back of the panel that the head is on. Rotate the wheels up. They will have a natural stop. And then rotate these forearm panels back. And just like that, we have Dead End back in its robot mode. I think the real key there is with the vehicle mode is making sure to hook, not press, not peg those heels together. That'll help hold it. Also, I really don't see any weapon storage. I mean, you can try putting them on the back of the forearm, but that looks more like a different way of just holding the weapon. But yeah, I think that's about it. I really like this figure. I think it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's the best Stunticon. So let's pause, and we'll come back with my final thoughts. There's really not much more I can say about Dead End. It is the best Stunticon. A lot of fun transforming it. I'm actually looking forward to see if they're going to continue in the Walmart Velocitron line, the repaints of the Stunticons. So definitely I'll be looking to pick this figure up again. And I really think you can see from drag strip to Dead End a progression in the design of the figures and their transformations from drag strip to Wild Rider to Dead End. And I think not having that central post gives them with the original Combiner Wars Stunticons, gives them a little bit more of a freedom in terms of designing the transformation. As I mentioned, I got this figure from Amazon. I do believe it is available at other online retailers and possibly has started showing up in brick and mortar retail. So obviously, if you're looking to complete the Stunticons, you're going to buy it. But if you're picking and choosing and not really feeling the whole combined team and are happy with your Combiner Wars versions, pick Dead End up just because it's a fun transformer. It does a lot of really cool things in terms of elongating the figure for the car mode and then bringing it, collapsing it back down for the robot mode, which I think is really cool. And it's a good transformer. I would even say possibly the best of the wave. So that's about it for the review. If you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions. Help to communicate to YouTube through their algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like Dead End to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. But as I always say, and I especially say this going into the holiday season that we're in, I know times are tough. I know we have inflation, recession. Things are a lot more expensive than they should be. So if you just really can't swing the $1 a month or $12 a year, I understand. Your views are more than enough. Thanks. As I always say, Patreon is a cherry on top of an already generous sundae. You guys have been with me for over 10 years, and you've supported me through a lot of different things and different styles, and I hope we continue well into the new year. So, this is your old pal Chuck for Dead End. We will see you next time.